My name is Oliver Nowlin. I'm a neon artist living here in Frogtown. I've been here since almost 75, I think, because when I used to teach, students used to talk to me about the frogs coming up out of Frogtown, out of the LA River. And I finally got over here. It's a beautiful place, but let's talk about my work. I'm a neon artist. I'm a sculptor, 3D with neon. And this piece here, if you look at it, I'm gonna leave it blank for you, but you can see it and you'll realize that it's about lightning. And it's a beautiful thing. I think lightning is fantastic. And then this piece is called Still in Candy, and it reminds me of candy because of the surface and the lights. And then this is a lollipop at the top. Come on with me, we'll go into my studio. This is my studio. It's small, but it's adequate for me. I can do pieces of 8 feet down to what you see behind me. It makes it easier so I can wake up in the middle of the night with an idea and come in here and start working. It's the beauty of the studio. I've been working on a lot of different pieces over time. I have this piece here, and I call that the LA River. And you can see all the things about the river that I've noticed in the last 15, 20 years. It's a beautiful place, certain parts of the year, and other times it's not. You can see the ducks, and I catch fish in it, but it inspired me to work on this piece and create it. The other pieces behind me are pieces about going down to Sea Cortez with some friends down in New Mexico, which I had never been, and it was exciting. A piece here is dealing with working with my son, which is a graphic artist, and myself worked together on this idea. And then this one up here just came out of seeing things in history that I learned about in school, in graduate school. So you can see that my pieces are diverse. I talk about a lot of different things in them. I have pieces I dealt with Vietnam when I was in the service. So it's an experience of my life, what I see in front of me, what's out in the world in front of me, and then try to create that feeling again. I want to talk to you about how I got into neon art and sculpted with the sculpture. I'm a sculpture major background. I have a master's degree in sculpture from Otis Art Institute. And I was thinking about light at that time, how light affects what we see and how we see it. And then, so I was trying to deal with incandescent light, and it's one of those things where it's really tricky on the wiring. And then I ran into neon. It's very simple, very easy, low-key wiring system. It's easy to hide everything you want. I want the pieces. I don't want you to see any part of the neon. I just want you to see the neon tube as I see it in my head. And so when I design these pieces, I go at the shape first, and then to the painting of the surface, and then come in the lights. Now, I've already seen these lights, these neon tubes in the piece before I have them made, but it's a progression where it starts out 1, 2, 3, and in the end, there's still always a little way to tweak it, to make it a little better, to see it a little bit, take a little time, and visualize it a little more, to see what I'm seeing, not for what you're seeing. Hopefully you see what I see. And each one piece tells a story of its own. It's just not something laying up there with a lot of lights on and a lot of color. There's a story behind it. You look at the shapes, and the images I project on the surface, and then the neon tubes and how the light plays against the use of the piece and the shape of the piece. And there is Oliver Nowlin's sculptures, neon art. Freedom. I have total freedom. It's different from everybody else. I'm not trying to be in a school like whatever. I want to be Oliver Nowlin, the sculptor that deals with neon. There's a lot of people out there who deal with neon, but very few of them use the neon the way I do and the shapes I do. And it gives me total freedom to do whatever I think. And then I can present it to you, and you can like or dislike. But it's when you like it and you see what I'm seeing is the spark that really turns me on. I had a young man come up here about 9 years old, about 2 weeks past, and he looked at the piece of lightning outside. And I said, you know what that is? He says, yeah. I said, okay, what is it? He says, it's lightning. And I had to give him a high five because he saw it. He saw the movement, he saw it, and he understood it. And that's the beauty of being an artist, creating out of your madness, out of your head, and then somebody else can enjoy and see what you're seeing. Flashback. It's difficult to give advice on the neon because there's very few people that can teach you. You can get a class at the Neon Art Museum here in Los Angeles, but really understanding how to deal with the neon tube is difficult. And what you can do with it. I come up with ideas and I go to my man and he tells me, yes, I can do it, or no, I can't, but 95% of the time he says, let's do it. And I'm happy. It's difficult because the glass will warp real fast and drip and all that. So you have to be on your toes to handle it. A lot of the shapes I'm asking for instance, like this one, are really difficult. And he has to see what I'm seeing at the same time I'm seeing it and understand what I'm looking for to create this for me. And then every time it comes out perfect. It's exactly what I'm looking for. So I finally found somebody that I can give him my input and he can give me back his, and we mesh together on our thinking and working. Before I had problems, I could do simple shapes, but you can see the intricate shapes here, up there. This one, this red one here is a massive intricate shape, you know. And over here are blowing bubbles in the tube. I mean, these are things that you get from somebody that's been doing this type of work for years. And the guy I have is fantastic because I can go in and see history just in his shop. Stacks and stack of old neon tubes that he's collected from old signs or old things that people have done. And I've even asked him about some of the glass, and he's willing to sell me some of that glass. The newer glass is different from the old glass. It's like everything else. They always try to make it a little cheaper. But what do? You have to work within the boundaries that you set for yourself. It's fun. And it's never, ever the same. Working with the surface, creating the shapes, asking for the neon tubes to come out. And they're not hot, they don't burn. And so long as you handle it with care, it lasts forever.